Our underpinning message has always been that we want kids to make good choices and for them to realise that their choices are very important and what choices they make today will frame their future.
One organisation acutely aware of the deprivation they suffer through substance and sexual abuse, long-term family unemployment, poverty and poor English skills is Operation Stitches.
I guess we thought that we could be part of the answer of trying to help kids keep out of trouble, and as a parent I guess you can realise that they are a product of what you sow into them.
What do you enjoy most about being here?
The kids and how Chris and Patrick make the kids grow up to be a good person.
What has the organisation given you most?
They encourage me to never give up.
What are you learning at the moment?
I'm learning to write.
What would you like to do when you finally leave here? Have any early ambitions?
I'd like to become a doctor.
We want to see these kids grow up to give something back to community, not just to be a statistic.
What kind of skills are being taught through the program?
So our main area of need in schools is literacy support. So most of our volunteers would help with reading, writing, general communication, comprehension in the classroom. It is comprehensive, but it just makes sense. You've got all this wealth and wisdom sitting out there in the community of retirees, and yet you've got this great need for young people in schools. It's a huge boost for young people in the community and for our organisation.
With people like the Time Help volunteers, it really is a beautiful world. And I'd like to say a big thank you on behalf of all the young kids in Australia for making our community a better place to be.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets.
A large number of the community we work with use Auslan interpreters. Auslan is Australian Sign Language. It's the national language that Australian deaf people use. If they want to have access to information or services, they will access that via an interpreter. In particular, in times of great need, or if a close family member has passed on and they need that integral communication within their close circle of support. And that can be when they have great barriers of access to communication. And VicDeaf over many years have provided Auslan interpreters for those moments when their close loved ones and family members have passed on. They're moments of grief, are very important in the deaf person's life. If we're able to support them to make sure they can feel included within their family or their community during those times of loss.
We know that over 125,000 Australians were diagnosed with cancer last year. We know that a vast majority of those people can't afford to fight cancer. One of the biggest issues we've had, which is, I guess, a real byproduct of that Australian pride and unity, is people actually putting their hand up and asking for help. We know it's expensive, we know it's tough. We, as a charity, would always love families or friends to come to us and ask for a handout, because that's what we're there for.
We look at research from various places, including UCLA and California, which indicates that really about 10% of what you say in an interview is what influences the person interviewing you. It is very much about your appearance when you walk in the door. It's very much about how you sit, how you present yourself, how confident you are, whether you can maintain eye contact. But if you walk in dressed inappropriately, you're probably out of the running before you even start.
So to have access and have this type of support from Tobin Brothers will make a definite difference in our ability to provide this type of service during sensitive moments in a deaf person's life.
It's an amazing grant. It's something that we really needed. It's going to help us set up some ongoing fundraising opportunities. We'll be using that money, part of the money, to help a family in need, but more importantly set up a fundraising opportunity ongoing where we can fund more and more families.
The grant from the Tobin Brothers Foundation is a really big boost for us. It'll enable us to recruit at least 15 to 20 volunteers in an area of need in Moreland, sort of Glenroy, Brunswick, Pascoe Vale, and those volunteers will provide 2,000 hours of support to young people who may otherwise fall through the cracks.
One of the challenges that a lot of people who are suffering severe financial duress because of unemployment have is transport and getting around the city. That is where the Tobin Brothers funding will help us, and it's not so much helping us, it's actually helping the unemployed people.